Come on down. That's all right.
We are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. Hopefully this Q&A will warm up your souls like this tea is warming up my soul. This ginger tea is fire. It is lit. Live Q&A. Dancer agency. We got King Kayak. We got Genius. We got Black of the Dancer. We have Dancer agency. We have Nikki Antics in the building. Also in the building, we got Poppy Ojo in the building.
Poppy's
We got
here.
Tara Renee in the building. We got your boy Hooli Boy in the building. We
Yeah,
got Sir Charles in the building. And we got you guys in the building.
Yes.
So I hope no matter where you are around the world, wherever you're watching, wherever you come in during this live, because guess what? You can rewind back because this is YouTube. All right? We can definitely have a good time. And we're just here to basically answer any questions that you may have wanted to ask online that you didn't get a chance to. So you can take this opportunity to just get settled, pull out your notebook, pull out some paper, get those questions that you've had all the time ready. And in the meantime, in between time, we just let people rock you. All right.
Tune in.
Tune
We're
in.
here.
Bro, no lie.
The link is in the bio. There's the AC bio. So,
Blanca just had a way of just easing everybody into the
It says something's
It's a big
updating.
vibe. Yeah.
Tune in, share the link to your friends, your family. Share the link.
That dance agency vibe.
Should I play it soon?
Yes, we play a big show.
Check it.
Let them forward in for like the next 5 more minutes.
The battery is about to die.
What is it up though?
As you guys check in, you know what I mean? Just like in the airport, when you check in, you gotta pull out your passport. Your passport's gonna be some emojis, alright? So drop some emojis as you check in so we know you're there. Big up Nika, OG, just walk in out of the building. Up top!
Them dead.
They're live.
They're father.
Check in, just go and check in on the one that day. Right about now, it's all about the live Q&A session of the Dance Family. Everybody just party. Alright, ladies first. Ladies first, Alright, so we get ready. Live Q&A over the Dance Agency. Great. Alright, so make sure to check in.
Run the place, no cut, you no run the liquidity, pussy girl, them a run the place. Skin up, turn up the high place. Your waist, nobody now go on your face. Your waist, your back with a dead pussy space. Your waist, go on the Phoenix, your waist, pussy girl.
And you know, say you look good in your tongue, yeah. From you know you're belly no bang, and you know, say you look good.
Yeah, everybody logging in. Up top, I hope y'all are doing the same too.
I just pinned it right here. If you go on the pinned page, go to the invite.
Alright, guys. Who's logged in? If you're not locked in, get locked in.
I have my live on so they can get a little 2-second preview of my IG live before they log in over to the Dancing Agency YouTube. So remember, everybody log in. This is just a little preview, and then we're gonna take this over to the Dancing Agency YouTube where it's completely free. All right. Up top, King Kayak is in the building. Genius is in the building.
So yeah, head over to that link, y'all. That's all.
Hey guys!
Welcome. Big tune.
Just pay some bills, give me a little commercial break, and then we'll start. Head over to the page. That's no life.
Just wanna pressure you with one more time. What's the number like when I'm feeling for crying? Take it on me, I'm baby, that's no lie, but that's no lie. Tell them it's not no so. And you never been a shoot the bus with your partner. Tell them it's not no so. No girl never kiss them up and she don't give no head. Tell them it's not no so. Well, you bet me man I want you now than the rest. So fire on the people when they with the same sex. No matter how you are, no matter how you dress. No girl not for you to copy at no contract. When I put my feet up to check you want to get a fix. The moment you da go, when you want to get a fix. And you know how to get the conversation when you need that. She don't need a little love. No, you never celebrate to take yourself from this place. Tell them it's not no go.
Alright, guys. I think we gave the people enough time to come in and tune in.
Enough time to check in already.
Enough time.
Done missed the flight.
I guess so. We can like just introduce the people. We can introduce the people to who you are and basically your preferred style. If you want to go and say your preferred style and just basically where you're from, even if it's nationality or where you're living now, whatever. So we can start off with that.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I think y'all should rock paper, scissors. Y'all should rock paper.
Rock, paper, scissors, set it, shoot.
Okay,
Rock, paper, scissors, set it, shoot.
Okay, boom, we win.
Oh, win.
Yeah, so you
You
go
go first.
You go first.
You win.
$1 million. The winner chooses.
No, you can go first.
I want to thank my mom. I want to thank every teacher that didn't think I could ever make it.
The dramatics.
I want to thank the food delivery guys that kept me full every
The
single day.
dramatics.
Production team.
I want to thank the production. I want to thank everybody out there watching, no matter where you are around the world. Thank you so much, because I get to win first prize. Introduction. Ready for that? All right, so now everybody is checked in, wherever you are, all around the world. This is going to be a live Q&A session with Dancer Agency. All right, and we have a few of our instructors here today. When I say our instructors, few of their instructors, because I'm an instructor.
It's 17
right now,
hours.
all right, so my name is Blacko the Dancer. Some of you know me as, and I am here, and I had a dancehall class today, and I am a dancehall instructor, choreographer, artist, and I love dancing. I love dancing. I love it as my life, but more importantly, life is my life, and through that I get to express dancing. You know what I mean? So I say that with being understood. You're human first before you're a dancer. All right, so you have to have a life before you make dance your life. You know what I mean? So take care of yourself. Take care of whatever's going on inside. Use this time right now that you're at home to self-reflect. Don't get busier at home right now, not doing the things that you know you should have been doing when we didn't have the time. Because maybe some of you could have prayed for the time and said, I wish I had more time in my life, and now that the whole world has time, what do you do with it? So make sure right now everything that you prayed for, you actually do with it to the best of its ability. And that's what I'm trying to do here today with everybody here. Live Q&A. I'm just going to answer everything with the best of my time, because that's actually all I have in this world for you. So bless up on the subs up top.
Okay, we can snap. I like the snap.
He's like that.
I love the snaps. Okay. Y'all want to rock, paper, scissors out again?
Oh.
Alright. Draw, y'all.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Corey Genius. I am a dancehall teacher here in New York City. Although trained in other styles, but the style I do teach here in New York City is dancehall. I grew up here in New York, but I was born in Jamaica. Just came here as a young child, and been up here since then. Grew up in Brooklyn, actually, which is where we are right now doing this Q&A. Brooklyn's where it's at. But yeah, I'm happy to be here today, of course, with Black Us and everyone else in the room today to do this Q&A. I've been done a Q&A in a while, so I'm interested to see what questions you guys have to ask today. But take it easy, yeah?
They are fun.
What's up? All right, everybody, you know, it's your boy Window, aka King Kaya. Yeah, man. We just want to thank you all for tuning in. I also had a class earlier. I never like to be defined by one style. I love all styles of dance. All right. So I try to just give you as much as I learn, you know. But sanitizer, don't know. Sometimes I'll give you like a hip hop. I'll give you some dancehall fusion. You know, I'll give you an Afro dancehall. You know, just to give you the extra sauce. You know what I'm saying? Just to give you my difference. Yeah, we're just here for the Q&A. We're ready for whatever questions you have to ask us. You know, whatever. We're happy to share our insights with you on whatever it is that you want to know about, and we're just happy to be here. You know, with the team. You know what I'm saying? Big up to everybody. Shout out to yourself for being here. And we know that we're dealing with these troubling times right now, but the best way to make it through this is just by being positive and just, you know, staying active. And yeah, bang boom. Yeah, we're gonna shake the room.
Now, Blacka, I know you're on live on your IG. Did you want me to take any questions from there? Because I can scroll
Let's see what I want.
and see before we tune out and just go straight to the live. So if anybody has questions right now, I will answer a few. I'm just scrolling just to see if anybody has any questions for any three of these young gentlemen.
How y'all doing?
Yeah.
¿Qué tal? Muy bien.
And you can ask anything, pretty much open. Okay, and English only because.
Bonito. Bienvenidos.
Oh, well, somebody has a great question. I like this question. Ask Blacka how has it affected his dancing being a vegan?
Oh, that's a nice question. All right.
Smart girl.
Wait, you're not going to answer it until...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just literally taking some questions. We're about to log off of this right now. Please click the link in Dancer Agency bio.
Yes.
Free Q&A. It'll take you straight to the page. YouTube, we out. Later.
Up top.
Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs?
All right. So you can go and I guess start off with that.
Okay, so before I start off with the first question, I hope everybody out there watching has sanitized their hands already once today. Hope you brushed your teeth. Hope you took a shower. Hope you're staying well clean and keeping your hygiene up as long as you're watching this. So, if you're watching this, take 2 seconds. Look to your right. Look to your left. Look for the closest hand sanitizer and go sanitize yourself. All right, so good question over from the IG Live. So if you guys are watching, you're just checking in. We were just IG Live. I was on my IG Live. We had somebody ask a question. How has being a vegan affected my dancing? And that's always a personal question because I'm not a doctor. All right, so personally, it's affected my dancing in the most amazing ways possible that I didn't even imagine when I first went vegan. I first went vegan because I just wanted to be a little healthier. You know what I mean? I just got signed to Red Bull at the time, so I just really wanted to at least take care of myself. If I'm going to be representing fitness and representing dance, that I had to actually be fit and not just be their stamp for it. I wanted to feel better. So like I just started cutting out like chicken and beef a few years ago. Like 2016, I stopped eating chicken and beef. November 2016. And as this time went on, you know, I went from just being a full-out carnivore over to pescatarianism and over to just vegetarianism and over to being vegan. And one good benefit that I feel is very, very little lack of energy. I always have energy. Don't get me wrong, I get tired. But there's a difference between just being exhausted from working hard and just literally having the energy to keep going. You can't push your body past its limits. So right now I feel like I really feel everything. Like I feel all of the energy in like the room around me. When I wake up, I'm just ready to go. You know what I mean? Like when I need to like drink the green juice, it hits my system crazy. So veganism just really all helps because now I feel like I'm actually moving and pushing forward with just natural energy. And that's the type of energy you can't take away. The type of energy that you can't get tired so fast. The type of energy that is actually just fire. So yeah, it's been great. It's been dope. And give it a try if you want or not. It's all up to you personally.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. And I'm officially now a vegan. But I do want to ask and start off kind of with, I know you guys lived in Brooklyn for however long and for long, so you guys seen the dance hall scene and seen the different changes, I would guess. Even if you haven't seen the changes, the dance hall scene today. So, I mean, I guess I can start off with you, Corey, and say, like, what was the dance hall scene like when you started dancing first and getting out there and comparing it to what it is today now?
Ooh, yes. Okay, so the dance hall scene when I started, I mean, I've been dancing dancehall my whole life because, again, that's my culture and my entire family is Jamaican. So for me as a young kid, just like a quick little story, my mother used to hold these parties, bashment parties. I was very, very young at the time, but I used to beg her to come to these grown people parties. And she used to let me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Shout out to Mom.
I wonder if she's actually listening. But she used to hold these parties. I won't go too much into the kind of parties she used to, what the parties were fully about. But I used to go to the parties and dance. And I'm the only young kid at these parties, and there's a bunch of older people. And back then, it wasn't much dancing with these people. It was just skanking around and just more. But me, as a young kid, was, going nuts in there, doing everything back in the days that was new. So, I mean, so that's where I kind of started, and I grew into it throughout the years, got into the different styles of dancehall, like broke up back in the 90s for me when I think dancehall was at its best.
I agree.
That's when I was really, I would say, my drive for partying and everything that's when that was peak.
Okay.
Since I started so early doing it back then, coming into now, I kind of cool down, being the age I am. I'm not saying I'm old, but I just have so much experience of doing that back then. As I grew into it, I felt like I did so much of it. So I'll say back in the 90s for me, dancehall was at its best. Now I still love the way it is. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed, of course. And we'll probably get to that later if anything. But I am loving how dancehall now is more, it's national, it's nationwide, it's worldwide, more worldwide. I think dancehall was always big,
Right.
but that was just me. I guess it wasn't like that for everyone, but now we're seeing that everyone is finding out about it, and again, I think we're gonna get more into those kind of things later on. But yeah, that's the scene now. I love it now. It's different, but I do love what it's grown into.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What about you? Been the same kind of.
I mean, for me, being that I'm from Grenada, it wasn't you know, when I go to parties, the music that it plays it would always be changing, or it's either mainly soca or they're like sprinkle some dancehall here and there. So I mean, either way, no matter what party I went to, I still gotta take some dancehall. But I never really was able to train. The most I could do was like the party dances, like Take Away Yourself. That's like those dances are like no brainer for everybody at the party, you know.
Right.
So, and you know, when I moved to New York and I started experiencing the New York parties, that's when I really started diving deeper into it, and that's how I ended up meeting like all of these guys. And shoot, we're all friends now. That's crazy.
What about New York dancehall scene that pulled you and gravitated you towards like just wanting to be a part of it?
The energy was always dope.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I like the competitive energy. Like, I mean, not everybody was competitive, but when you go to certain parties, you see those that are competitive, but not like competitive and nasty, but just competitive but supportive energy.
Right.
So, for some of the parties I went to in Brooklyn, like I would get that kind of vibe from, you know, I guess most of the people that I was around at the time, and you know, just seeing that, because I joined in it when everything was still growing to what it is now.
Okay.
You know, now we have social media to help and everything, so now people can show more support in different ways, and they kind of get to see, they get some insight from you and how you live your life. If you decide, like us, like if we decide to show like our experiences within the dance hall, like at a party, or if we do a class, or just like link up or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now they instead of anybody judging you off of like what they see at one party, now they're like, okay, I see you at a party this week. I see you online doing this thing. I see you doing your thing. You know, they get to really see different layers of the dancers.
Right.
So that's really cool.
Right. Nice.
We get a chance to like show off ourselves
More in other
see everybody.
Michael, what about you?
What about me? You don't learn about me?
Yeah.
I like long walks in the park.
Yeah.
Favorite color is red. Then taking that.
Thank you.
All right, so from where dancehall was in New York City to where it is now, Charlie.
No, it's just him.
Where dancehall was in New York City to where it
What's
is.
happening?
I'm not gonna be fake with y'all. We're not gonna act like everything.
Yo, we're not gonna be.
Yo,
We're not.
So I'm here talking to y'all. I'm chilling, and it sounds like some big giant just wink, right? It's like, so what happened is the camera just decides to shut off, right? Shut off, and then now everybody back here is like scrambling. I gotta see it. So they try to put the camera back on, and they're like pressing buttons, and it's just going through Nikki's photos. So you just
shit.
like this. Can you feel this?
I'm like, wow.
No, a big ass picture.
Wow, big picture, just like right there. Like,
Talk about
I mean, my makeup was done. Like, it was done. Yeah, I'm like,
That's
hey.
Nick. That's Nikki.
That's me, guys.
So like where the scene was before to where it is now, honestly, sometimes I look at it and it's like I want to bring a tear to my eye, but I'm too much of a bad man to bring a tear to my eye, so I just allow it. You know what I mean? But for real, like when I first started, like this is not even like about when I first started dancing. It's not about live Q&A with Blocker. It's about the New York City scene. When I first started teaching in New York, first of all, big up to people like Corey Genius, because Corey Genius is the foundation of dancehall here in New York City. Corey Genius has been teaching way before I've been teaching. He's one of the reasons why I'm able to be here in New York to be a teacher. You know what I mean? So it's like you always have to respect the foundation. So for you to be here next to me, dog, like for real, it's always ever gonna be an honor. That never fades away. You know what I mean? That stays shiny. You know what I mean? So like when I first started teaching here in New York City in 2012, it was really rough. You know what I mean? It wasn't a lot of students at all. Charlie was there. He could tell you. We were in the studios grinding it out together. So to see it go from one studio in 2012 when I used to have to rent rooms, and every time I rent a room, tell them what dancehall was, like calling Ripley or calling Danny Studios or calling DNA and telling them, hey, I want to teach a dancehall class. And they're just like, well, what is dancehall? And we always have to say, well, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like to see that go from having conversations with every studio owner to now being overseas and seeing the influx of classes just blowing up. And not just dancehall, but just Afro-Caribbean dancers, because we all come from the same place. At the end of the day, we just all read different parts of the book. So like to see it grow up and blow up into like what it is amazing. To see it go from one student to like 50 to 100 to 300 is like, that's what we worked for. You know what I mean? We worked to see that happening for the past 10, 15 years that we've been out here in the studios grinding out, you know what I mean? So yeah, like thanks to people like you logged in all around the world, thanks to people who don't look like us, all right? I want to big up the people who also don't look like us because you also support the culture too, all right? So people who don't look like us have been taking our classes, supporting, you know what I mean, and spreading the music, spreading the dance worldwide in your own respective countries, in your own respective languages. We all understand dancehall comes from Jamaica, but for things to spread, it's been spreading because people outside of Jamaica as well, taking on a culture that's not yours, and then loving it and respecting it the right way. So people like you, big up yourselves, because dancehall is big because of us and you at the same time, you know what I mean? That's...
Bop, bop, bop. Oh. So we actually have some questions from the people online, and somebody said, do you believe there's a missing piece of dancehall history in New York?
Missing piece. That's kind of
I don't know, they just asked.
specific. Missing.
That's just a straight out question.
Yeah.
If that's the straight out question, it depends on what you're comparing it to. If you're comparing dancehall in New York to dancehall in Jamaica, there's always going to be a missing piece because we live in two different places. So as far as dancehall history in New York, there can't be a missing piece of the history because you can't take away history. So whatever happened here in New York was supposed to happen here in New York the right way for New York to have its own perspective of dancehall the way it does, because our perspective of dancehall influences other people. You know what I mean? So if you mean a missing piece, is it like Jamaica? It's absolutely not like Jamaica, and it never will be. All right? It's New York City, and it's amazing in its own way. We have so many different cultures, so many different people, so many different melting pots that all influence the way that we dance, the way that we sing, the way that we perform, the way that we walk, the way that we talk, the foods that we eat.
Or have helped guide you and mold you along your journey?
When it comes to dancehall, I'm not going to say I have a specific teacher, but if you're talking about one of my idols in dancehall, of course, Mr. Waki. That's who I started watching when I got into dancehall. But now if you're talking about classes I've taken growing up, again, I wasn't trained in dancehall in the studios. It was a street style that I picked up and I learned myself. So I consider myself a freestyle dancer before anything else. But for taking classes, some of my first classes here in New York, which were more hip-hop, were Luam. I used to take Aaron Boogie back in the days, like way back. I used to take Eric Negron. What's that thing? I took Bam Bam. So those are my hip-hop teachers back in who I actually trained with in that style. So yeah, that's who I grew up taking.
I'm kind of like Corey. Like when I first started off with dancing, I was starting off with freestyle, and like I just knew that whatever you teach me or whatever I really get a chance to learn the right way, I just pick up right away, you know. So from like going to parties and stuff, I ended up learning more dancehall. And actually, like when I was in high school here, when I moved to high school, I used to be with an old team called Flavor Expression, where like the group was started in Jamaica, and some of the members moved to New York, and then we were all in the same school. And then we ended up they saw me dancing, but I was just doing more hip hop.
You were part of Fat McBurney?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. I was like one of, as far as Flavor Expression in New York,
right?
Like the beginning in New York. Yeah, like with like Jay and his brother Anthony, and then afterwards it grew, but I kind of was like more like, I mean, you know, I'm still young, so my parents still strict, so I couldn't go to every single party. So then I wasn't really I wouldn't be seen in like I wouldn't leave Brooklyn and go all the way to Queens or like Connecticut for a dance party. Cause it's like, who driving me? Who paying for me? I'm still in high school, you know. So, but I was a Flavor Expression, and no lie, it's about to be a little history lesson from me joining Flavor Expression and just like, you know, experiencing the parties. I would always see Blacka. Like we never met in person, but it's just like yo, like respect. Because he would see me dance too. Because then I'll be with my team at the time, and I'll be learning, and he'll see like if I pop up at this party, cool. We don't see each other for a while, and he come back to another party, you see me again, like you see the progression, and then from moving, and then what else? You saw me at the show at BMCC. Yeah, I think that's when he really saw me dance. I was at BMCC. We did a performance for the Caribbean show Carifesta, and then from that time, I think what was it? I went on a dancehall audition, and I got the chance to see Black Adair again, and that's when I met Sir Legend, and I can't remember who else at the time, but that's when I met them, and like really got to meet them, and they see me dance again, and then I ended up doing I think a cyber rap piece. Was it your cyber rap piece?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
Right.
Wow.
And through me that like doing that show, well within the rehearsals and everything, I met Genius and everybody else. Then these are like my first like dancehall teachers as far as like in a formal class. These guys here, and then it just grew from there because then I met Blacka, Legend, Genius. Then I met Laura as well. Then I took Laura's class, and then we met because I think we did Legends piece next. And after we did Legends piece, then she asked me to like assist her. And then that's when I got to see Corey more because I was still doing like my b-boy thing. I was just more in hip hop world in New York, and then I ended up going to Corey's class, learning from Corey, like and everything just back into full circle now. It's lit.
Crazy. And look at y'all. Look at y'all.
It's lit, yo.
That's lit.
Yeah, for real.
So somebody did ask a question, and this is all to everybody. What country, when this pandemic is over, would you like to go on tour and that you probably haven't visited, or do you have visited and still want to go back? Is there any specific place?
All of them.
All of them, yeah. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
I want to go to Africa. Specifically, I want to go to West Africa. I want to figure out where our roots are and what my roots are. You know what I mean? And my lineage, my family, like way down the line comes from Angola. You know what I mean? So I'd love to figure that out. You know what I mean? I want to see that. I want to go to Ghana. I want to go to Ivory Coast. I want to go all around Africa. I want to actually get to know Africa. You know what I mean? That would be cool.
I haven't been back to my country forever.
You haven't been back to Jamaica in a while? I'm telling.
I think probably one of the first places I'm going to go when this is all over, because I have plans to go there in the upcoming months to take a trip there. So I haven't really been back in a long time for my own reasons.
I feel you, yeah. I feel you.
But that's on the top of the list right now.
Okay.
Get my butt back to Jamaica.
Yeah.
And I do have family there, so
Right.
that's one of my main reasons for going there. And then I'll just go back to my family.
Do you have any specific collaborations you want to do when you go on there?
Honestly, when I go out there, I'm literally gonna be training.
Nice.
I watch the dancers from there here all the time. Like I'm seeing their dances, trying to learn it from video, which is, of course, to the best of my ability. But I want to go there and actually learn these things that I think I already know from the people. So when I go out there, literally, I'm not trying to teach, none of that. I'm not enjoying myself and just take these guys' classes. That's it.
Nice. Seeing any specific things, or you just?
Anywhere, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, but I definitely want to go to Jamaica though.
Absolutely.
And the same as Florida, like I want to go and train. You know what I'm saying? So I remember somebody asked me, "Yo, when you come to Jamaica and teach?" I was like,
Teaching up there.
I mean, not saying that. I can teach other styles. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I can teach, but I feel like if I go there, like I want to be so immersed in the culture. I wouldn't even think about teaching.
Right.
Like I want to go eat the food. I want to meet new people. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be dancing 24/7. So I'm not gonna go through that stress and say, okay, promote this class. I ain't got time for that. I'm gonna enjoy it.
No, I feel you.
Get some knowledge on the way.
Well, this next question is a good question because I want to know this question too. How did you guys get your dancing name? How did that come about? Because I know
Should I go first?
it could be a funny story. It could be you don't want to share your story, but I think the world needs to know how y'all got to where y'all got to. Name-wise.
Oh, my name is real. So it's not a dance.
Just like that.
Corey Genius. That's my
Yo, you
name.
heard the shots? He said, y'all name is big. I'm about that life,
Birth
yo.
certificate.
My name is
Yeah.
real.
My first name is real. My second name is how I feel about myself. That's it.
Get it.
He ain't lied to me.
Because when people, of course, people call me Genius, and
Yeah.
obviously no one thinks that's my actual name.
Mhm.
I'm like, no, that's the name I was given at birth. That's my father's name, my last name.
Oh, you're a genius.
My last name is Genius.
That's so lit, yo.
My middle name is actually it's alias. So if you abbreviate it, it's Corey's a Genius.
My
Wow.
Alleous.
That's
Mind
crazy.
blowing.
Damn.
Let me give one coming responded.
Now I don't feel like, yo, I don't think I'm a good dad anymore. Your parents are smart.
Yo, I was the school teachers, bro. I didn't have it up for the last. Every time I read it, Corey, a genius. Corey, a genius. A genius. Looking for a genius.
For somebody like me, that'd be a lot of pressure because the genius at the end of the day, that'd be a lot of
Bro,
pressure.
just say,
Oh my God.
Gotta only make smart decisions. Facts. That's dope, though.
What about you guys? How did you come up? Well, obviously,
Well,
you guys have actual real names, government names. But how did I went down for King
King
Kayak?
Kayak?
yeah, I want to know too.
Man, so like I was rolling in the jungle. Shoot, the King Kayak. So it's funny because in high school, my nickname used to be Bling, because at that time I was still broke. So I still wear like them dollar studs. I was like super shiny. So every time you see me walking in the morning time, you're like, yo, you blinging out.
Yeah.
So all my Jamaican friends call me Bling. But then I stopped using the name as I got older. And I was just like, whatever. But then my Instagram, the first one I had was called Kayak's Finest. Now, that kind of got popular because then people just see the Instagram and Kayak's Finest. But actually, for those that know, I'm from Grenada, but I'm also from an island that's a part of Grenada called Carriacou. And when you're born in Carriacou, they call you a kayak. So that's why I had the name Kayak's Finest. And then over the years, as I got with Dancer Family and training and everything, I wanted to just like switch things up. And then I switched it to, actually no, I had recently won a dancehall king competition. So then, it was like me and Black, we were kind of brainstorming, just thinking about like different names and stuff. Like the King Kayak just made sense, because
You're a king.
I'm also a king, yes. You know what I'm
Dig up
saying?
this out. Don't be humble. Talk your shit. Talk your shit.
So King Kayak Dancer, and I just wanted to still keep that kayak to pay homage to my home, and King because my king is in it. Yeah.
Got it.
Well, now I know that I'm not Grenada.
Yeah.
Oh.
Colorful kayaks.
Man, I got some cool stories, bro.
And then
Hopefully, I got a cool story for my name, man.
What was it? You got it?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I remember.
But your name just fit you because it would be funny if your name was like Striker or some type of
Striker.
way.
So the girl I'm calling now, Striker. So it's cool. I play football, you see me? So I just strike one good kick in the pool. Alright, so I got a funny story for y'all. This is hilarious, okay? So this is gonna be some news for y'all too. Y'all never really heard this story before. So now my first artist name outside of my real name, which I will not tell y'all, so just get that out of the way. Okay? So my first artist name was DJ Young Shatta. Right?
you're lying. You're lying.
So serious.
I can't believe it. That's like a MySpace name.
No, it's better. It was a Skonex nickname.
Oh,
That's where we get real. So everybody who that, all right, we all remember the orange screen. If you don't remember the orange screen, then you need to log off. Right? So Skonex was this website we used to use in high school and junior high You know, it was high school actually, like
High school.
High school for us, yeah.
Well, for
high
y'all.
school. And there's this big orange screen, right? So like I would like go out the crib and I'll go into the library just to go use the free 30-minute internet to go on Skonex. And the crazy thing is, what y'all don't really know about me is I do a lot of things, right? Like I also used to DJ. So like I used to be in a sound called New Kingston Sound. All right, so we used to DJ. Yeah, I had dub plates, I had Twins dub plates, and Assassin dub plates when he used to call themselves Assassin before Sasco, and Mr. Pepper, Hypocrites, Talk. Like you used to have those dub plates. So that's why I called myself DJ Young Shutter, because DJing, you know what I mean? So anyway, from DJ Young Shutter, the name switched over to Blacker the Dancer was a funny story. So big up my cousins New Kingston, all right? That's my family in real life. I've known them since I've taken my first breath. And my first step, literally, my mom used to babysit them while she was pregnant with me. So those are my best friends in the world. You know what I mean? So like besides Charlie.
Oh my God.
So anyway, so one day I was over at the crib and we were in Canarsie and I was at the table, right? And at that time, you know what I mean, Uncle Courtney, he would always say like, he would always speak to me, but sometimes he would speak so fast and with so much patois that I didn't understand him. So more time I would just like smile and nod. A lot of those would work. It would get me through most of the time, right? So this one time now, we're at the table and then he just randomly was just like, yeah, my black pasta, wait. And I was like, that's not my name. Why did you just call me another name? What does that mean? Right? So I just waited. I just smiled and nodded and passed what I needed to pass. So then he cut left the table. I asked my cousins, I was like, yo, what does blacker mean? And they pointed to their skin. And then they pointed to my skin. And then I got it. Okay? So I got blacker actually from Courtney Panton. Okay? If anybody here is a fan of reggae music, Courtney Panton is a foundational part of reggae music worldwide, from being with people like Shaggy to just everything else he's done with the entire music industry, including New Kingston, you know what I mean? So I got Blacker from Courtney Panton, who's my uncle, you know, father figure to me in real life. And the dancer came about when I was in college. When I first went to college, you know, Facebook, I had to graduate from Skonex to like, eventually like MySpace and Facebook. You know what I mean? I had to graduate school, so I got into Facebook. So when I got into Facebook and I was in college, you needed a first, middle, and last name. So I didn't want to put my real name on there. So I was just like, all right, cool. First name, Blacker. Enter, done, right? I thought I could zest Facebook, but I couldn't. So it said, bro, you need a middle and last name. So I was like, all right, cool, I got to figure this out now, because I'm not going to put my real name. So then I tried Blacker the Dancer, because I like dancing, but it didn't ring. You feel me? It was like Blacker the Dancer. It felt like I was trying to be Caribbean. It's like, I am Caribbean. I was born this way. I was born in Brooklyn, but my parents are Caribbean. So it's like, why am I trying to be Blacker the Dancer? So I was like, all right, cool, I got to be, you know, more authentic with lineage and heritage. So I was like, all right, cool. Blacker the Dancer. You know what I mean? It felt like I had to roll off more. So I was like, D-A Dancer, like Blacker the Dancer. But then it just didn't feel right, because it was like Blacker the Dancer. I felt like I was like, you know, illiterate. You know what I mean? So I was like, it got to flow a little bit more. So from them times, in dancehall, a lot of people used to spell the word dancer, never spelled it the way I spelled it. It was D-A-N-S-A. All right? It was dancer because that's the pronunciation of the letter S. So when I actually changed it to Blacker the Dancer, D-I-D-A-N-C-A, is because literally my name. Because D-A-N-C-A, Blacker had a C in it. So it didn't make sense spelling-wise to put Blacker with a C and Dancer with an S. When I changed the D-I so it could flow, because the A and the E would go Blacker the Dancer. You know what I mean? It takes too much strength to go Blacker the Dancer. So literally I created my name. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit of the history behind Dancer, the Dancer family, the Dancer brand, the name Dancer, and Blacker. That's
wow. So meanwhile, my parents just slapped some, you know, names on a paper, just like, here you go. I don't think they went that deep into thought of creating. Yeah, they were just like, hey, this is your name. Like, it's not like, let's pronounce it and let's make it flow. And nah, my name kind of does flow, but I'm not gonna put my government out there. But
It's not Mickey Anthony.
we can go with that. Yeah, to the people. It's Mickey Anthony. That's fine. But so we got more questions. Somebody asked, do you guys have any hobbies outside of dance?
No. I do.
Corey's like that, yo. Sedation. I eat, sleep, and dance. That's it.
Hobbies. I'm a video game head.
Okay.
If you follow me, you see that I post when I'm playing video game every night, every day,
You guys have Smash Brothers.
every hour. I would destroy somebody.
I just tried both.
And it's funny, I haven't played it in a while, but I'm a gamer like that, so.
Bro, he's a genius.
Now we gotta go online, y'all, and definitely have a. Now we gotta put this to the
We have a
test.
live Smash Brothers contest.
We gotta put this to the test.
Q&A Smash Brother.
No, it's not gonna be no question. You're already gonna get the answer. Ain't no question about who gonna win.
But that's one of my main hobbies is literally playing video games, and I'm a videographer, so for me that's kind of one of my hobbies. So I love doing that too and editing videos. But those are the two things I do other than that. Because literally that's 24/7. Yeah.
Somebody said when you go to Jamaica, they want to see your Orville and Genius collab.
That would be dope. It's funny. I actually met. You may not remember me. I met Orville probably twice, I believe. He actually came here to do a workshop years ago at Broadway Dance Center for a workshop called Do Something Workshop that two teachers and friends of mine named Tavi and Tamara used to hold.
Okay.
I'm gonna big up them, by the way. But for those that don't know, one of how I actually got the door open for me to get into Broadway Dance Center and Perry Dance was because of Tavi and Tamara.
Yeah.
They used to teach there before me, and as they transition over to what they're doing now, they opened the door open for me, and I went in. Of course, did my own work to keep things going. So big up Tavi and Tamara every day. But yes, I met Orville at the workshop. For me, I love Orville. Why? My reason for bringing specifically speaking about him because I watch Orville dance all the time, and I watch a lot of new dancers do their thing, and I watch how complicated things get with these new dancers. And I'm like, crap, I gotta keep up with that. And then I watch a video of Orville, I'm like, what am I talking about? It brings me right back to where I was. I'm like, listen, let me just calm myself down and do what I do. So I want to big up him because that seems like something small, but for me that's huge. Every time I watch a video of him, I'm like, Corey, don't worry about these meetings, and don't worry about speeding this up or take your time like you're doing. So he's a reminder for me as the time goes on. So what was the question again?
Hobbies outside of dancing.
That was my hobby. Yeah, my hobby is mainly video games and things like that.
Okay, nice. King, what about you?
I also play video games on the side. I've been I haven't played that much lately, because I've been doing so much dance stuff. But yeah, anybody can get this working. Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, all this. Even Mario Kart, you know what I'm saying? Smash Bros. I'll smoke y'all too. I'm just saying.
Alright, so we have to have a game night, y'all.
When did we have the last game night? That was way back. For me, anyway. That was way back when I was at your place, no?
Was it?
Oh, that's when we was over at the crib.
Where?
We had the game night with N64 over on Eastern Parkway.
Oh, what?
It was history, me, you, Devious.
Go on.
I won some.
You sure?
Playing 007.
I feel like I won a lot.
Won the most.
Okay,
I feel like it was me.
Well, we gonna figure that out after.
So y'all trying to have a live video game night?
No, we definitely gonna have.
Yo, I don't trust none of y'all no more. Because everybody think they're good at Smash Brothers.
Alright, 3-1, alright? If anybody...
The original Smash Brothers with the joystick that you use in the center.
Come on.
Yeah.
On top.
Okay, so we gonna get back to
It's
the
okay.
It's like he ride.
I wasn't there, but when they bring the game, they might get smoked. That's it. But video games sometimes I like to watch movies. Sometimes I do a bit of photography. Like I have like my own little camera. I just like to shoot, just to experiment with it. I write music. I love singing. I'm also an artist too, but the writing became a hobby. But then now I just love this shit. So
You already know.
writing and doing my music. What else? I mean, for me, I'll try anything new once. Like I want to go skydiving. I want to do a lot of different things. So yeah, right now everything is just engulfed in dance. But there's just like there's other things that I do. Certain things a little more personal. Other hobbies, that's it. I like to collect shoes.
What are they?
Let's get intimate.
Yeah.
What y'all want to know?
Oh, and I love to eat food.
See, like, yeah.
I'm a cook too, so watch yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody did ask if this will be up on the YouTube Live, our channel. So you guys, if you missed out on anything, you can rewind, you can go back, but it will be up on our YouTube channel live.
But you won't be able to ask questions.
But you won't be able to ask. Yeah,
I still
literally.
know.
Ask us now. Baka, what about you? What's some hobbies?
Personally, when I'm not dancing, I love to zest. So I take my time. I like to pride myself in being a professional zester. Okay, so I'll explain to you what that means in full form. Okay.
Thank you.
No, I like to live my life. You know what I mean? What else can I do? I like to do whatever I like to do. I like to sing. I like to rap. I like to dance. I like to write. I like to act. I like to draw. I actually went to school for art. You know what I mean? So I'm actually a fine artist. So I went to high school for art. You know what I mean? I've done art history. I love pointillism and painting. You know what I mean? So I do love painting, charcoal, sketching. I do love Netflix and chill. You know what I mean? So I just literally, my hobbies are very in the moment. I just love to do whatever I naturally, spiritually feel like I need to do in that moment. You know what I mean? And to be honest, I guess the biggest hobby is just the people around me all the time. I like to hang out. I like to be around actual human beings. I like to be have social media happen in real life, like this right now. Other than that, everything else doesn't even matter what I like to do or what I don't like to do. It's just I like to do with people, cool people. That's it.
I do want to ask a question. I probably asked you guys a question before if you did a good Q&A, but I just kind of want to reiterate it because I think it's important as all you guys having platforms and young individuals always looking up to you guys and watching you guys. So something basically that you want to do for your community or give back to your community or something that you have done and you want to continue to do for your community. I would just like to know like what it is or what you have planned, I would say, for your community.
I'll say for me, my main thing when it, of course with my dancing, for what I want to do for it, it's one of those things I don't look at it as work anymore. Yes, it is work, but for me, I just do it naturally, and just being able to provide classes for as long as I can for everyone that wants to get into dancehall or just learn about the culture as much as they can when they do come to my classes. And I've been teaching here for a long time, and because of the places. Can they still hear me? Because of the places I do teach here in New York City. I do get to introduce this style that I teach to a lot of different people literally every day. And once I do that, I kind of lead them to everywhere else they need to go take my class. Because again, I am not the only dancer teacher here in New York. We're sitting here with two others. So that's one of the main things that I want to keep doing for the community here in New York City and the dancehall culture. Just keep spreading it where I am and keep pushing it out there and telling people where they can go find more and more. That's my main thing, I would say. Yes. Yes. Oh, say it right. Yes.
Yeah, more. It's kind of like you're saying Tesco.
As far as what I want to do, what I've tried to do sometimes, because growing up, I know me being an adult right now, I know so many people that they had the opportunity where they're fortunate enough to have parents that will send them to like dance classes and stuff at a really young age. For me, what I try to do in New York, sometimes I'll host some free classes depending on like when I have the time to do it. Even if I teach my regular classes, I'll host those because I actually started training in dance by going to a free program in Manhattan called The Door, And at that time they didn't have dancehall, but that's kind of where I really started training a lot in dance. And then at one point I was able to bring them dancehall and introduce them to different dancehall teachers and stuff. So that's I do a little bit of volunteer work with them whenever I can. It's been a while, but whenever I get the chance to, I try to either collaborate with them or just sometimes I'll go teach a free class or a few, and also like for my home like Grenada. So what I've been trying to do for the past 3 years, like I'll go home and I'll just volunteer and teach classes and mentor some of the kids that are looking for some type of guidance, or if they're looking for classes, because me growing up there, like I didn't have myself to look up to, or myself to train me or to get classes to say, okay, I want to be like this person. I go to your class and I can do this, So now I want to, use the knowledge that I've gotten over the years and experience, and go back. And it's been dope so far. I went back 3 times, and on 2 of those occasions I was able to just go teach free classes. One time I did like 3 classes all week, and then I kind of just wanted to give them the real time knowledge, and I didn't want them to have to like wait. Okay, I'm doing this here, and then they have to wait like 2-3 months to get that kind of knowledge. So I want to give it to them right then and there, and really be authentic and just like real with them, and not try to sugarcoat them for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I'm still building, but this is working.
Right. You got this. You got this. You got it. What about you, Doctor?
I'm still laughing internally at the fact of Charlie being behind the camera with Pringles. The crunchiest chips. The commercials are literally about sound, right? And he's like standing there behind the camera with the big thing of Pringles.
No, somebody's like, thanks to the guy behind the camera for the ASMR.
God damn.
I'm just like,
Yo, dog, y'all gotta see this. It's like you're looking at literally the worst thing to have in your hand. He's like, yo, can I see the Pringles, bro? This is a quick commercial break. This is a quick commercial break. Okay. All right, no, this isn't free promo. This is free belly.
Can't say that.
Oh, did y'all want some? Alright, so something that I would like to work on, that I'm working on for my community. Eventually, what I'd like to work on is a dance program that starts off with kids here in Brooklyn. Born and raised in Brooklyn, so I'm a New Yorker. I'm from New York. I'm a West Indian American. Okay, so I'm very, very highly proud to be both. It's kind of like, what's that movie when they can be like the vampire and the other one that's in the Lion King?
Blade? I don't know what you mean. Underworld.
I feel like Blade.
Underworld.
Is it Blade?
Underworld.
You like 2 people? No,
Well, Underworld.
2 people. Underworld. What's the name?
Yes, the vampires and Viking.
And the Vikings.
And the werewolves.
So I'm like that. Like that. So it feels dope. You know what I mean? Like being like both, like just having both heritages. But anyway, like a hybrid, like a Tesla. I'm like a Tesla. All right. So the reason I think that'd be cool is because I never really grew up with having the opportunity, just like King said, and also knowing Genius. We all grew up the same ways, having the opportunity to like learn like dance hall. Like I'm gonna be straightforward, dance hall in school. Because like honestly, there's so much cultural things to learn. There's so many things that we can learn for like just how to act socially, community-wise, educational-wise, like philanthropy, just the etymology of the words, going back to just how they can all relate to like normal day life. And these are things that I've learned like teaching it. So I think it's super important to like really just push that agenda and that image that your dance hall is super positive. You feel me? Just because it was born out of something, out of struggle, doesn't mean that only produces struggle. You know what I mean? There's so many great things that grow from that. How much great things grow from dirt, from soil? The most beautiful things grow from dirt and soil. You feel me? So it's just like, it's just a goal of mine. And I started it actually in Jamaica 4 years ago. I started my own dance program for kids. It's called the Little Dancer Program. And it's been a very, very long 4 years. But you know, we've made it because of people like y'all out there, like donating and supporting just a little bit of the program. Because King has already helped out so much with the program as well. And a lot of people donating all around the world. It's a program for kids. I have about 50 kids. It's in Jamaica. It's actually at the St. Martin de Forest Basic School in Gordontown, in St. Andrew. And it started off with just one school, which is the St. Martin de Forest Basic School. But when the wind got out that like we started a dance program for the community of Gordontown, then we actually joined in like 3 or 4 other schools. So we have so many other schools coming in, and it turned into a community program where like when I go to Jamaica, I'll bring down like just the merchandise. I'll bring down just certain things I need to bring for the kids. We actually get our shirts for the program made at the Alpha Boy School. If you don't know what the Alpha Boy School is, it's the most important music school probably out there. All right, if you love reggae music or you love music that comes from that island, from Jamaica, check out the Alpha Boy School. The Alpha Boy School has a program actually where the kids, they get extra credit by printing on the shirts. So screen printing gives you extra credit at that school. So one of the reasons why I don't get the shirts made in America is because I really want everything to come from and to go to the island. So creating a system, because clearly you can get shirts up here wholesale, cheap, but it's not about saving a dollar. It's about providing the opportunity for other people to make a dollar. If you understand what I'm saying. So we'll get the shirts made down there, and then after we get it made down there, I go over to the school, and it's been just a wild journey, teaching the kids, dancing with the kids, learning from them, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just a vibe. It's every Tuesday and Wednesday at 1 o'clock when this whole apocalypse thing is back in order, you know what I mean? And I want to big up the teacher, Marva, big up the principal, Sislin. All right, Marva, she's actually sending the kids videos every single day so they can still practice at home because school is out there. So she's sending them videos for them to practice and to learn from, and then they send them videos. They send her videos back, and it's a system that she's already been working on, and I'm actually working on with the team here on helping that out. But yeah, that's like something I've wanted to do because it's just like, if I could have known the things that I've known about dance, so when I say the things, I mean the knowledge, not just the dance move. Because at the end of the day, we've all been dancing since we were born. Okay. That's cool. But one thing that we lack is a knowledge of self, a knowledge of our heritages, a knowledge of our cultures. And we lack that. So we can be taught from an early age things like you said earlier. You said the dances that you could have did at the time. It's like take away yourself. These were take away yourself. And like take away yourself is Pato for take yourself away. So for those of you out there trying to understand like the languages, Pato is the language of Jamaica. All right. So take away yourself literally means to take yourself away from a negative situation or a situation that's positive for you, a situation that may be dangerous. And this could have saved so much more lives if kids understand the meanings behind the dances that they're doing and not just doing the dances. Because if it's your favorite dance and if it's your favorite song, then that meaning is going to get hammered in your head. So now after school, you kind of see some guys who are ready to fight or ready to rob you, anything like that. You know what I mean? You push that ego aside and it's no longer like, all right, cool, I'm bad. You know what I mean? You remember in time like, yo, everybody start take away yourself, follow the rhythm and take away yourself, plug in your headphones and cut. You know what I mean? Because your life is worth more than that. So like these are part of the lessons that I want to provide, that we are providing with the program, and that like the ways that we do teach worldwide. But for those, so don't judge it because dancehall is brave enough to express what we feel on a regular, because we're brave enough to express the sexuality that we all feel. Everybody happens in the richest of places in Beverly Hills. You can't tell me that nobody's ever been murdered. You know what I mean? You can't tell me that there's no homophobic crimes in the Midwest. You know what I mean? Like it happens wherever you are. So understand that there's no difference. The only difference is we're brave enough to talk about it, and we're brave enough to show it, and we're not going to hide it behind a veil and hide it behind our culture is perfect type thing. It's our culture is our culture, and who we are is who we are. And that's what we have to start teaching more and more, but we can only get that message across once we understand our culture, and that happens through understanding the musics, the dances, the messages that come around them, and the messages that they arose from. You know what I mean? So that's like all part of the program. It's just like our culture is so educational because it has to be. If every other culture in the world borrows from it, in music and dance and art and language and flavor and style and everything, then it must be that educational because you're taking it and you're spreading it. You know what I mean? So understand, first of all, before you take something and you spread something, learn it. And that's it. That's
Yes, for real.
I was gonna say everything you just said, but my man, you got it. That's about it. That's good.
So, somebody else asked, which is a good question because of the times that we're in right now. How do you guys basically, like, what is something that pushes you guys to keep going with dancing, even when times get hard or it gets slow? Like, you know, Genius, you've been doing this for so long, and it's just like, you know, what gives you that push to be like, listen, I'm tired today, but I still want to do it, or like, you know, I want to teach this class, but you know, I don't want to teach this class, but I still want to do it. You know, what is it that pushes you to still go, whether you were just over it or just don't want to do it at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. I have those moments a lot where I just do not. I mean, dancing is I'd say it's me. I love it. It's all I do, and I talk louder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Yes, dancing is what I do. it's all I do, and there's always days where I just don't feel like going out and dancing, not because I don't like dancing all the time. I really enjoy teaching kids. Teaching kids is not, dance is not the easiest thing, especially doing it for 10 years now. I speak to some people and they get tired of it really quick. And again, I've been doing it for 10 years and I still enjoy it. So that's another drive for me, like every day to, want to dance, knowing that I am teaching kids today and the joy they give me. As much as they annoy me sometimes, but again, it's more joy than annoyance. And that's my main drive. Just my love of dance always just brings me out, no matter.
I feel you, yeah. Kane, what about you? What gives you that push and drive to just keep the dancing going?
Just being. I always get motivation from my peers. Like being around these guys, being around everybody, because after a while you get drained. Especially if you're a teacher, you just giving. If you're not receiving anything back, then after a while you start to just like. As artists, we're our biggest critics. So we're always like, okay, we're always trying to be better than what we put out, or I guess before in the past, So it's easy, like Genius says, it's easy to always like get into that funk where you're you're just not motivated. But it's always good to be around like-minded people because then we all motivate each other and just like within a space we share, we get to collaborate, we get to like feed off each other and just educate each other as well. So I think it's just like a cycle of the knowledge just being passed around.
Right.
So like once you have that, it's kind of never ending, Well, it is never ending, and then the inspiration is just always there. So even if one time it might feel like a little low, like you meet up with somebody, they give you that vibe, or they educate you in some kind of way. You're just like, all right, cool, I can do this again. It's just reassurance, a lot of positive reassurance. Yeah.
Another thing for me, like other than, of course, yes, my love of dance, like the people and for like students and friends that I teach, like they're another drive for me. Like a lot of my students are my friends now, and they come to my classes like religiously every week. And I don't feel like leaving my house to dance today, but I do think about them and like, man, they always enjoy my dance, and they always give me good energy back. So that's another big drive for me. So I do have a lot of drive for it, and that's what keeps me going all the time. People, the love of it. It's just when you love what you're doing, you're gonna do it no matter how you feel, no matter what's going on. And that's what I guess I'm gonna say dance, and of course dancehall itself does for me, because I'm gonna say dancehall because this is what I started with, and it's what I'm still doing today. Everything else I learned after dancehall, so dancehall is it for me when it comes to love of dance and drive.
For me, what helps me get through those days, because I talk a lot, yeah. I like to talk. Because I bet, there's anybody creative watching this right now, and y'all going through a dry spell at all, just understand that that's normal, and it happens every single day with every single creative around the world, no matter at what level of experience they are in their life or success of their career. Every single day, or as much
it's
as
18
you can,
hours.
As much as you can, you're going to try to completely destroy your art over and over mentally. Why? Because you're creative, right? And creative is what? Creating. But guess what? There's no creation without destruction, all right? And that's who we are as artists. So what helps me is actually understanding my anatomy as an artist, like how I take. And I realize that, like, when I drop a dance video, I'll watch my dance video a million times over at the same time. Like, as soon as I drop it on IG, I'm watching more than y'all. You know what I mean? That's because I'm looking for what's wrong. I'm looking for what's wrong because as a creative, I have the power of destruction, so I can continue to create. Because at the end of the day, if we felt like we were always the best, or we felt like our art was good, if we felt so highly confident, then why would we continuously try to make it better? All right, so understand, like, you want to make something better, but you can't make something better without pointing out the flaws. So now if you're pointing out the flaws mentally, that means you're seeing nothing but the flaws all the time. And when you see nothing but the flaws, you understand. Without understanding that that's part of you creating, then you're just going to be like, damn, I'm tired of this because everything's going wrong. This looks bad, that looks bad, this feels bad, because you're not understanding that it's one thing. It's one moment. It's like life and death. It's not life then death. Life is life, and you have birth, you have life, and you have death. It's one instant. So it's like creation and destruction. So that's what I tell myself a lot to keep myself going. It's like, yo, like, nah, Black, are you good? Of course you think you dance whack. Because you're supposed to think you dance whack so you can keep trying to get better. Of course you think your video whack.
I don't think I dance whack.
I be feeling like that. I will hold that. Yo, I be watching myself like, yo, you trash, bro.
Yo,
You gotta do that because you have to be your own worst critic.
Yeah, he's true.
Yo, people out here crazy, yo. Y'all on YouTube? Oh, wild. Y'all your mouths have no chill. Okay, on the internet, y'all have no chill. Like, really think about what y'all be telling us. Like, yo, we're humans. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're behind the screen, but yo, we're human beings. So you tell somebody like, yo, that dance move is whack, bro. You dance? Nah, lose your legs. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, understand, like, the separation. It be wild. So we gotta tell ourselves the crazier things before we start reading your comments. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, man.
So I'm glad you guys are continuously finding ways to keep pushing yourself and keep creating and keep just giving back and just giving. So just to end it off and wrap it up, you know, just quickly. You can think about it.
I say for the young dancers out there, don't rush the process, right? Like my mom used to always say. I think she said, don't try to hatch the eggs. The chicken and eggs. I'm like,
Don't hatch the eggs before they hatch.
I think I'm vegan.
Say it
anyways, okay, just don't rush the process, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's dope, you know, especially when you love to dance, and you know, at some point we have to get creative to test, you know. Sometimes we want to test our creativity, and for me, like what I get a lot of times, people ask me like, you know, when is the best time to teach, and they feel like teaching, and they you know, they always express that to me. I'll just say like, don't rush it. Like, make sure you know exactly what you want to teach and why you want to teach. If that's what you want to do, if you want to dance, continue learning. And no matter what it is, just continue learning. Like, your brain needs to be a sponge. You know, you're never too old to learn and never too young to teach, right? But still, just don't rush the process, because if you rush the process for teaching, you can get to a certain point where you kind of just like, you've used up everything, you know? And then after a while, you kind of just, you lose interest, you know what I mean? Because you're forcing yourself to do something that you're not even like experienced or skilled in yet. And then even for dancers, like sometimes, you know, they will train and get to a certain point, and then they feel like, okay, now this is the point where I need to be at. Everybody needs to notice me. Nah, you always continuously growing, you know? So just, yeah, don't rush the process, keep growing, and, you know, just be understanding. And just appreciate art for what it is, even if it's something, even if you have your opinions about it as well. Appreciate it, because you never know, like, even if it's something that you don't like, it can motivate you, or it can even inspire you, you know? So, yeah, have an open mind with all of this as well.
Yes. For the new dancers, for the new dancers or people that want to teach, I would say, although I've been teaching for a long time, and all I do is teach, and I get this question a lot. Like they say, what do you do? I say, I teach, and then they look at me like, so what else do you do? I'm like, no, I just teach. And they you can get by with that. I'm like, for me, again, I teach almost every day. I do have like 2 days off right now. Well, actually, I have every day off until this day. But normally, I have 2 days off. But I do teach every day on a normal. And am I surviving on it? Am I struggling? For me, I'm going to say no, I'm not exactly struggling like, most dancers. They really fight for what they do when it comes to dancing. Some dancers really gig for gig. And for me, because I'm only teaching right now, I'm not going the gig route as much as I used to. That was my choice. I seemed like the gig route wasn't working for me, so I decided I wanted to teach years ago, and I had to build. When I started teaching, trust me, I wasn't making no money completely. I wasn't making any money at all, actually. So I was teaching because I love doing it. in time that came. Of course, I love to do it, so I kept doing it. Of course, money came eventually. With that, I do other things. I do teach dance every day, but with what I'm making, I tend to invest. So that's one thing I want to say for dancers nowadays. Like, I know you may look at it like I just dance, and maybe it's not always like that. Love what you're doing, of course, with dance, but think about the bigger picture and what you can do with your dance, like with the money you're making. So again, for me, I am investing. I won't say what I'm invested in right now, but I am investing in a couple of different things, and I use what I make from dance and what I give out to continue investing for my future, of course. So yeah, just have a bigger picture than just the dance alone. Yes, of course, love it, enjoy it, build off of it, but think about it. I just wish I was doing or thinking the way I am back then, because things would be different. I'd probably be balling like crazy right now. I'll be honest with you. So yeah, so new dancers, just love the dance, of course, but just think past it also. Think like what you're gonna do with it in the future, early. Enjoy yourself. I can't tell you don't enjoy yourself, 'cause I did.
That's like really good answers. Not answers, sorry, just really good perspectives from you. But it's just like it all like goes into play, like what I would feel to tell any creative or any dancer watching this. What you said was genius.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
So always have a bigger picture. You know what I mean? Because we're all the players on this chessboard. But if you're just focusing on the step ahead of you, how do you see the entire board to know how to make a move? That's called strategy. All right? And beyond strategy, what we do every day as creatives is we're full of tactics. All right? We're able to react quickly, and we're very reactive. If something happens, we can turn quick because we create and we destroy. So life doesn't really rock us so much. That's why John King's advice and Corey's advice is use this time at home to understand your value, to understand self-value, and to not give it away. Don't give it away for free and don't give it away for cheap. Understand your value, because a creative is still a worker. You're still working. You're still a professional. If you're going to call yourself a professional dancer and a professional choreographer, understand that the first word is professional. And professional means that you put in time to learn what you learn, to study what you study. But I say that put in the time, right? Because don't teach what you know, teach what you understand, all right?
Yes.
You speak about what you know and you research on what you know to build up until you understand it. So that's all going into it. You teach what you actually understand, not what somebody showed you, all right? So that goes back into being a professional, all right? So if you're professional, creative at all, and you're out there and you're in the same position that we are, home on a couch, that's how real as it is. Wherever you are watching this, know that we're in the same place. This is not a studio setup. We're home on a couch as well, because the whole country is out of work and the whole world is out of work. But you use this time to utilize your network to the best of its ability, to figure out what it is that you do love, what it is that you don't love, what it is that you'll put up with, what you won't put up with, and then start making steps. Start making steps every day towards your goal, because at the end of the day, if you're running a business, you want your own employees to make those steps. So make the steps that you want other people to do for you, for yourself. You want people to book you for a reason. You want people to follow you on IG. You want people to give people a reason to follow you on IG. You don't just ask people to follow you back. It's corny now, all right? Work on your craft, work on your brand, work on having something to deliver, work on the message, work left to right. This whole situation showed us what that will get you. So are you going to continue running down gigs, check to check to check, or take a few steps back, work on your business strategy, work on what Genius is saying, work on what King is saying, and take this creative time that we've all prayed for around the world. Damn, I wish I had more time. Damn, I wish I had more time.
Right.
Damn, I wish I had more time.
Yep.
And now you have all the time. So what you do with it now will decide your next 10 years. And what you do in the next 10 years will decide the future of the next generation. So just remember, if you're alive right now, you have a responsibility to everybody around you. Period. Whether you like it or not, at the end of the day. So that's my advice to you, creatives. Know your value, know your self-worth. Don't let anybody talk you out of charging, okay? Don't let anybody ever talk you out of charging what you know you should be charging, because guess what? Everybody is worth what they think they're worth with the right research and the right experience and the right work. Don't just make up prices. Don't just make up a price out of your head, because the entire community has a value. And then please understand that the decisions that you make for self, you're still part of a community. So the decisions that you make for self will still affect the community very, very, very much.
Yep.
So the value you give away is the value you lower for everybody else around you. Zest.
Yes.
Don't know.
That was awesome, guys. I appreciate you guys sitting down with me. You know, Nikki Antics with the Antics, giving No Dancing Agency me here. Guys, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this. Make sure you tell a friend to go take a class. Go look on the schedule for the classes this week. And yeah, well, we're here. We're at Dance Agency. We're lit. And thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Again, Dance Agency. Makeup. Bye.